Hello, everyone. My name is Julie, and I am one of Christian Assembly's Kingdom Partners based here in Kenya. And it is my privilege to be able to send this message to you today for our daily touch point. We're in the book of Numbers, and we're reading from chapter 2. I encourage you to read the entire chapter. The background of this story is that the Israelites have been delivered from slavery. They've come out of Egypt and they've spent the last year at Mount Sinai. And within this time, God has made a covenant with them. He has given the 10 commandments. And even though they've been rebellious and disobedient, God has been gracious to them, and he has made a way for his presence to dwell among them within the tabernacle. And so the book of Numbers is about the census. So they've counted each of the different tribes, and now in this chapter they're given instructions on how they are supposed to camp. And at the center is to be the tabernacle. It's to be the presence of God. And then further out from there are the priests and the Levites, and then further out still are the various tribes, and they're given specific order of where they're supposed to be, with Judah being at the head. And they're supposed to be going on a 2-week journey to the promised land that's actually going to take 40 years, but they don't know that at this point. They're just given instructions on how they're supposed to dwell. And I think about, for us, all of these years later, where we read this story and we see the order, we think about God and how his presence was among them. But I think about, for us, the gift of Jesus, the gift of his sacrifice, his love, his forgiveness that has allowed us to be in relationship with God in such an intimate way, that God doesn't dwell somewhere out, but inside of us, within our lives, if we will allow him. And with that, I think about how God is to be the center of our lives, of our families, of our decisions, of our day-to-day stories, our relationships. I think there are times where God is a Sunday morning experience, or thought of as, a 10-minute a day quiet time or reading of the Bible, and check that off the list, and then we continue with our lives. But the truth is that God is to be the center, and God is to guide us. Not only is it about us just making good choices, or it's not just about a morality thing. It's really about the loving kindness of God that is for us, that will shape our lives if we will let it. It's about us being in relationship and knowing the goodness of God that can sustain us in the hardest of times and can give us meaning and purpose and hope. And from that, then we also get to learn to love those around us, to love our neighbors, to see with eyes that recognize the hurting, that recognize the value of each person, because they were also made in the image of God. And so I pray today that as we read, we would also allow God to speak to us in a way that can guide us and lead us and allow us to know more of who he is and of the ways that he's made us. And may it lead towards love. So be blessed, friends.